A billionaire goes undercover as a poor worker, then falls for a cleaner everyone insults, only to discover she's hiding a secret that could destroy his family. People thought Damian Cross had everything. At 29, he was the heir to Crosswell Industries, a multi-billion-dollar empire with offices in London, New York, and Dubai. His suits were tailored, his name opened doors, and women smiled at him like winning the lottery. But Damian wasn't smiling anymore, because every time someone said, "I love you," he heard something else. "I love your money. I love your power. I love what you can do for me." And that broke him. One night, his father's house was quiet except for the sound of wine pouring into a glass. Damian stood by the large window overlooking the city. The lights looked like stars, but he felt nothing. His father, Victor Cross, walked in, calm, commanding, and always in control. "You've rejected 3 engagement proposals this month," Victor said. "Are you planning to embarrass this family forever?" Damian didn't turn. "I'm planning to protect myself." Victor scoffed. "From what?" "Love." Damian's jaw tightened. "From lies." Victor leaned closer. "You think the world lies to you because you're rich?" Damian finally turned, eyes sharp. "No, I know it does." A silence dropped between them. Victor sighed. "You're not a child. Crosswell needs an heir with discipline." "I'll be disciplined," Damian said. "But first, I need something money can't buy." Victor raised an eyebrow. "And what is that?" Damian stepped forward. "The truth." Victor laughed once. "Truth doesn't exist in business, son." Damian's voice went cold. "Then I'll find outside business." That same night, Damian did something no billionaire heir had ever done willingly. He disappeared. Not into vacation, not into luxury, not into hiding, into reality. 2 days later, Crosswell Industries welcomed a new junior employee. Dylan Cole. Simple name. Cheap shirt. No driver. No bodyguards. No penthouse. He arrived with a backpack, a fake resume, and a plan. From today, Damian whispered to himself, standing before the company's mirror glass entrance, "I'm not Damian Cross. I'm just Dylan." Inside the building, the world revealed its real face. Executives walked like kings. Interns ran like servants. Some staff smiled only at those who looked expensive. Damian watched carefully. Then he saw her. She was mopping the marble floor near the lobby, head low, hair packed neatly under a cap. A simple uniform. No jewelry. No makeup. But something about her didn't look broken. She looked controlled, graceful, strong. A supervisor marched up and snapped, "Faster! This place should shine before the directors arrive." The woman replied softly, "Yes, ma'am." Damian frowned. The supervisor deliberately kicked a paper cup toward her. "Oops. Clean that too." The woman knelt without complaint. But as she picked it up, her eyes briefly lifted, meeting Damian's. It hit him like thunder, not because her eyes were pretty, but because they were not afraid. They were calm, smart, almost powerful. Damian's heart tightened. Then another worker walked by and sneered. "Cleaner girl, don't forget your place." The woman didn't respond, but Damian did. He stepped forward before he could stop himself. "Why do you people talk to her like that?" The sneering worker laughed. "Because she's a cleaner, bro. You new here." Damian's voice sharpened. "And she's a human being." The worker rolled his eyes and walked away. The woman paused, surprised. "You shouldn't do that," she whispered. Damian stared at her. "Shouldn't defend someone being disrespected?" She looked away. "No. Shouldn't put yourself in trouble for someone like me." Damian's brows pulled together. "Someone like you?" She gave a small, sad smile. "Someone the world already decided doesn't matter." Damian stood frozen, because in that moment, he realized something terrifying. This story wasn't going to be about him finding love. It was going to be about him finding out how cruel the world truly was, and whether he still wanted to be part of it. Damian, now Dylan, couldn't stop thinking about her. The way she didn't panic. The way she didn't beg. The way she carried her pain like a crown she refused to drop. He learned her name from the staff list. Aria Blake. She worked night and day shifts. Never absent, never late. And for the first time in his life, Damian became obsessed with something that wasn't business or money. It was character. The next day, he purposely walked toward the hallway she cleaned. He found her wiping down a glass boardroom door. "Aria," he said gently. She paused. Her eyes flicked toward him, unreadable. "Yes, I'm Dylan. I wanted to apologize. If I caused you trouble yesterday." She stared at him. "You didn't cause trouble. You just spoke the truth." Damian smiled slightly. "Then why do you look like you regret it?" Aria went back to cleaning. "Because truth is expensive in this company. The poor pay for it first." Those words shook him. Damian followed her. "Why do you stay then?" Aria stopped. Her voice turned firm. "Because I need to. For money. For survival," she corrected. Damian swallowed. He wanted to ask more. But something told him Aria didn't like pity. Just then, 2 female office staff walked by, laughing loudly. "Ugh, this hallway smells like bleach." "And poverty," the other added. They both laughed. Aria kept cleaning like she didn't hear them. But Damian saw her fingers tighten around the cloth. The women reached the elevators. One turned and smirked at Aria. "Hey, cleaner girl, don't touch the elevator buttons with that dirty hand." Aria's jaw tightened. Still silent. Damian stepped forward immediately. "She's not dirty," he said sharply. "But your soul is." Both women froze. "What did you say?" one snapped. Damian didn't flinch. "I said what I said." The women scoffed and walked away. Aria turned on Damian, eyes blazing quietly. "Why are you doing this?" Damian hesitated. "Because it's wrong." "No," Aria said, stepping closer. "People don't randomly defend cleaners. Not in a place like this." Damian's heart beat fast. "Maybe I'm different." Aria studied his face. "Different men are rare, but dangerous." He sighed. "I'm not dangerous." Aria leaned back. "All men with secrets are dangerous." That hit him hard, because he had one, the biggest one. Still, Damian kept showing up, not to flirt, not to impress, to learn. He began noticing how Aria quietly helped the security guard with lunch, how she gave her water to interns working overtime, how she fixed a loose tile before anyone tripped. Aria wasn't weak. She was invisible by choice. One evening, Damian caught her alone in the supply room, stacking chemicals. "You work too hard," he said. Aria didn't stop. "Hard work is cheaper than being homeless." Damian softened. "Is it that bad?" Aria finally looked at him. "My mother died when I was 16. No family, no safety net. When life takes everything from you, you learn not to beg. You learn to build." Damian's throat tightened. For the first time, he understood something. Aria wasn't cleaning floors because she was small. She was cleaning floors because life had crushed her, but she refused to stay down. Damian whispered, "You deserve better." Aria's eyes turned cold for 1 second. "I'll decide what I deserve. The world already decided too much for me." Then she walked past him, leaving Damian standing with a strange ache in his chest. Because it wasn't attraction anymore. It was respect, and respect is more dangerous than desire. Weeks passed. Damian's disguise worked perfectly until it stopped protecting him from what he felt. He and Aria began sharing small moments. A coffee cup left for him, a quiet good morning, a short smile. Then one day, Damian found her sitting on the back steps behind the building, staring at the sky like she was carrying a storm inside her. He walked over slowly. "Aria?" She didn't answer. Damian sat beside her, keeping respectful distance. "Rough day?" Aria laughed without humor. "Rough life." He nodded. "Same." That made her turn. You don't look like someone who knows rough life." Damian smiled sadly. "People can suffer in suits too." Aria studied him. "What's your suffering?" Damian hesitated. If he told her the truth, it would destroy everything. If he lied, it would prove he was like the rest. So he chose honesty without revealing his identity. "I'm tired of being valued for what I have," he said. Instead of who I am. Aria stared at him. Then she whispered, "That must be nice." Damian blinked. "Nice. To have something people want," she said quietly. "I have nothing people want." Damian's heart squeezed. "That's not true," he said. "You have something rare." Aria frowned. "What?" Damian's voice lowered. Dignity. Silence. Then Aria stood quickly. "Don't say things like that." "Why?" he asked. "Because words make people hope," Aria said sharply. "And hope breaks hearts." She tried to walk away, but Damian stood too. "Aria, I'm not playing with you." She turned, eyes angry and wounded. "Everyone plays with me. The company, the staff, man, life." Damian stepped closer. "Not me." Aria scoffed. "You don't even know me." Damian held her gaze. "Then let me." That night it happened. A director's daughter, Selena Crosswell, stormed into the building, furious that her private meeting room wasn't sparkling. She caught Aria wiping the table. "You," Selena snapped. "You ruined my perfume bottle." Aria froze. "I didn't touch it, ma'am." Selena slapped Aria so hard the room echoed. Damian walked in at the exact moment. His world went red. "Don't touch her." Damian thundered. Everyone froze. Selena turned, shocked. "Who are you to speak to me like that?" Damian stepped forward. "A man with eyes. And you're disgusting." Selena's face twisted. "You're a nobody." Damian's voice shook with fury. "And she's 10 times the human you'll ever be." Aria stood stunned, hand on her cheek. Selena hissed, "You're fired." Damian smiled coldly. "You don't have that power." Selena laughed. "Watch me." The next day, Aria was suspended without pay. Damian rushed to her cleaning corner. She wasn't there. He found her outside, holding her small bag. Aria didn't cry. She just looked tired. "Aria," Damian said urgently, "I'll fix this." She shook her head. "No, you'll make it worse." "I don't care," he snapped. Aria's voice rose. First time he'd heard it. "I care. I've survived too long to let you destroy yourself for me." Damian's breath trembled. "I can't watch them hurt you." Aria's eyes softened suddenly. Then she whispered the words Damian wasn't ready for. "You think you're the first man to say that?" Damian froze. Aria looked away. "And you won't be the last." Damian realized Aria's past wasn't just sad. It was dark. Damian couldn't sleep. Aria's word haunted him. "You think you're the first man to say that?" It meant someone else had stood close before him. Someone else had promised to protect her and failed. The next morning, Damian returned to the office early. He was done pretending. He stormed into the executive floor, restricted area, and security tried to stop him. "Sir, that floor is for directors only." Damian's eyes turned icy. "Move." His authority was so natural the guard hesitated and stepped aside. Damian entered the boardroom where Victor Cross sat with other executives. Victor's eyes lifted. "Dylan Cole?" Damian closed the door calmly. "No," he corrected. "Damian Cross." Silence exploded. Executives stood in shock. Victor slowly rose. What are you doing?" Damian's voice shook with controlled rage. "I'm reclaiming what you taught this company to destroy humanity." Victor's face tightened. "You staged this whole thing?" "I staged the truth," Damian replied. "And I saw it clearly." One director stammered. "Sir, we didn't know you were—" "That's the point," Damian snapped. "If you only respect people when they're rich, you're not respectful. You're a parasite." Victor slammed his hand on the table. "Enough. We have bigger matters than a cleaner." Damian's eyes blazed. "She's not just a cleaner. She's a woman you all crush for entertainment." Victor lowered his voice dangerously. "You're ruining business for a stranger." Damian stepped closer. "No, you ruin business when you build it on cruelty." Then Damian made a decision that shocked everyone. "Bring Aria Blake back. Apologize. Publicly." Victor scoffed. "Never." Damian turned to the directors. "Then I resign from this company and sell my shares today." That landed like a bomb. Victor's jaw dropped. You wouldn't dare. Damian's voice was firm. Try me. But before the decision could be finalized, Aria walked into the building, not in a cleaner uniform, in a fitted black dress, hair down, confidence sharp as glass. Every head turned. She wasn't hiding anymore. Selena's eyes widened. What is she wearing? Aria walked straight to boardroom doors. Damian's heart stopped. Aria's gaze locked on him. Then she spoke in a voice that didn't belong to a cleaner. Hello, Crosswell board. Victor Cross's face turned pale. Aria? He whispered like he'd seen a ghost. Aria smiled slightly. My real name is Ariel Kingsley. Everyone froze. One director dropped his pen. Selena blinked. Wait, Kingsley? As in? Aria nodded. Yes. She stepped forward. I am the daughter of Elias Kingsley, the man your company destroyed 10 years ago to steal contracts and bury evidence. The room erupted. Victor shouted, That's impossible. Aria's voice stayed calm. I came here as a cleaner to gather proof. I wanted justice, not sympathy. Then she turned to Damian. And you, she said quietly. You pretended to be poor just to test love. Damian swallowed. Aria, Aria's eyes hardened. We both wore masks. Damian stepped closer. But my feelings are real. Aria's lips trembled slightly. So were mine until I realized you're still part of the system that ruined my family. Damian's chest tightened. Aria held up a flash drive. This contains everything. Fraud, corruption, evidence. Then she whispered, And your father is the villain. Damian turned slowly toward Victor. Victor's face was stone, and Damian realized the love story he thought he was writing was about to become a war. The following week shook the entire city. Crosswell Industries became headline news. Executives were questioned. Contracts were frozen. Police visited the headquarters. Victor Cross tried to control the damage, but Aria's evidence was too strong. Damian sat alone in his penthouse, staring at the flash drive copy Aria had given him. Money couldn't buy peace that night. His phone buzzed. A message from Aria. Meet me at the old bridge. 9 p.m. alone. Damian arrived early. The river below rushed like time itself. When Aria appeared, she wore a simple coat. No makeup. No uniform. Just her real self. Damian swallowed. Aria. She stared at the water. It's Ariel, but you can call me Aria. Damian stepped closer. I never wanted to hurt you. Aria turned, eyes wet but unbroken. You didn't want to, but you did. Damian's voice cracked. I didn't know my father. Aria cut him off. That's the problem. You didn't know because your wealth kept you blind. Damian nodded slowly. You're right. Aria raised an eyebrow. So what now? Damian took a deep breath. I choose you, and I choose truth. Aria laughed bitterly. Truth will cost you everything. Damian's gaze hardened. Then I'll pay. The next day, Damian walked into the courtroom. His father sat surrounded by lawyers. Victor stared at his son like he was looking at betrayal itself. Damian took the witness seat. The judge asked, Do you have information relevant to this case? Damian looked at Victor. Victor's eyes screamed, Don't. Damian remembered Aria's bruised cheek, her tired eyes, her dignity. He remembered the way the company treated human beings like trash. Damian spoke clearly. Yes, Your Honor. Victor's face collapsed. Damian testified against his own father. He exposed internal records, confirmed corruption, gave names, gave dates. The courtroom gasped. When it ended, Victor was arrested. Reporters swarmed Damian outside. You just destroyed your own father. Why? Damian replied with one sentence that shook the world. Because a man who protects evil is worse than the evil itself. Days later, Aria found Damian sitting in a small rented apartment. No mansion, no staff, just a man who had chosen truth. Aria stood at the door quietly. Damian rose slowly. I lost everything. Aria nodded. No. She stepped closer. You lost what was fake. Damian's eyes filled. Do I still deserve you? Aria stared long at him. Then she said softly, "I don't love you because you're rich." Damian's breath caught. "I love you," she continued, "because when the moment came, you didn't protect money. You protected what was right." Damian whispered, "And you?" Aria smiled through tears. "I learned something too." "What?" he asked. Aria held his face gently. "That love isn't proven by sweet words, but by painful choices." And under the quiet city lights, they held each other. Not billionaire and cleaner, not heir and victim, just two people who had suffered and finally found something real. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.